Hey y'all, it's Billy Hill. Oh no, you caught me with my readers on. Um, I thought I better stop and take a minute. I This is an update on the Jupiters, the dual Jupiters. I had an intention on owning a Jupiter. I certainly didn't intend to buy two, but it really was an interesting experience, and I'm getting to the end. So let me think about what to do here. Um, I guess I'll show you the 60. There'll be a final 60. I just want to kind of talk about where we're at in the process and what I've learned. So this is the 1960 Jupiter. I did add the Bigsby B3. I added the Towner piece on the back just to get it off the bridge, which I really think it needs. Let me see if I can get this thing to go down a little bit. And it works great. So I did find, to get a good break angle or a slight break angle on the strings, that I had to pull the neck off. And I've talked about this. And I put some shims in here that I ordered off Amazon, super cheap. They worked. You can see them there. I could just make them black, I reckon. I don't know if I care. And I've got to say, once again, a Silvertone purchase off the internet that I had no idea how it was going to play or anything, just going off the description, has turned into a really awesome guitar. And I left the nut, even though this E string mentally to me is so close to the edge of the fretboard. But when you look at it there on this skinny fretboard, it's not really that close. So I'm just going to leave it. I think it's a mental thing for me. I don't like E strings, high E strings that are near the edge. I did, as you know from the other video, I found I had these Grover tuners sitting around, and they exactly fit into the holes, even the screw holes. I did nothing. These fit right on this headstock. And so those are some of the upgrades. This is a very cheap Rickenbacker bridge that you can buy. Just go on the internet and look it up. You'll find this thing. And it works great for old Silvertones. I've got another friend, JP, who's on Instagram, and we wound up at the same parties together. JP bought a Bobcat, and Bobcat, yes, and Silvertone, and his has the wood bridge. He doesn't like it. I'm like, man, you got to switch the bridge out. It's not hard. I have a piece of double stick tape under here just to, once I figured out where it should live, intonation, and all that stuff, I double sticked it. And also, I base on an old guitar like this, I'll look at where the old bridge sat. Maybe that's a bad idea. You can usually tell because underneath the bridge, it's not as worn out. And just kind of, that's where I start. So all of that worked. I plan on doing one more on this, so I hate to talk about everything, but maybe no one cares. The other thing I did, if you can see under here, is I pulled one of these pickups off, and you see the little chrome ring underneath, and I used a paper and a pencil and drew a little template, and then I took some wood I had in the back and just cut it to fit. And then I have a sander, which has come in so handy. It's a big orbital sander, not orbital. It's the kind of sander in your shop. It's like this big, and a belt sander. That's what it's called. I'm so mechanically inclined, but I used a belt sander to sand it until I felt they were right. They were the neck one was a little tall, and it was so muddy and dirty and not good. And I was like, okay, I'll bring it down. I pulled everything off, and I brought this one down, and now it sounds like I know it should. It's rings, but it also is all the gold foil goodness. What am I here really to talk to you about? I'm here to talk to you about the wiring, because this is crazy what I'm about to say. You might notice, or you might not, that the blend knob is gone. So I think I put everything in a bag and it's not here. This is not the original pick guard or electronics or knobs. Those knobs are worth like 65 bucks a pair. And the chicken head that goes up here, we'll talk about that too. So the first goal was to keep everything stock. Well, that wasn't going to work. It sounded terrible, and the blend knob thing sounded terrible, as I've said. And so I changed caps, and then I felt bad about messing with that original wiring. Everything's in a bag. It could totally be stock in 1 minute. I can go over there and put the old terrible caps on that are probably bad, and it would be fine. So then I realized I have a second 2013 right here. If you think working on one guitar is bad, try working on two at the same time in your office. So this is a 2013 that I bought for 250 bucks down the street. Hey, this is a great guitar. If you just bought it and left it alone, the neck is a little wide for me, but the neck is great. The frets are great. The pickups are really great. They're Seymour Duncan. I mean, this is a kind of a pickup I would pull the pickup out of a guitar and then go buy these for like, whatever, 300, 500 bucks and put these in. That's how good they are. They're already in the guitar stock. I see these things, this one in my hand, the 2013 Silvertone. I see these on the internet all the time for like, retail's $549, which is still a great deal. And then if you get them used like this, $250 cash in a parking lot. And I probably could have got it cheaper, but I wasn't going to try to underbid him. I'll tell you a couple of things that you probably can't tell. I'm going to have to move this mic. The sparkle on this guitar actually sparkles. So that's actually sparkle or, glitter of some sort. The sparkle on the 60 is simply gold paint shot in a spattered like method. There's no sparkle, or at least there's not anymore. Okay, so back to the point. So I'm on the 60 and I'm realizing the original stuff is terrible. The pots barely, they don't work. So like the tone knob would go from nothing, then you get to all the way to the end of the tone pot, and then it would just like turn on to fuzz, and and I was like, okay, these things have got to go. So then I was thinking, how am I going to rewire this with a rotary knob and a blend thing? Let me tell you something. There's like one piece of evidence on the internet on how it works, and the rotary knob can't be found. And then I was like, hold on, dude. You have a 2013. Hold on. Okay. The camera's messing me up. You have a 2013 Silvertone sitting on the couch, and it's got a pick guard that actually the 60s did all the. I'm really wound up here. I better settle down. The 60s pick guard, all the words have been washed off, worn off, looked like Brillo padded off. I don't know, but the words were on the reissue. It had the blend. It had all new electronics, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm pulling the pick guard off the new guitar, and I'm just going to put it on the old guitar. So your question should be, how did that go? How did a 2013 pick guard, how did it go trying to put it on a 1960 Silvertone? Only 2 screws had to be moved a little bit. That was it. I had to drill 2 holes at the top and probably the bottom, I think, and all the other screw holes lined up. So kudos to whoever did the reissue. I mean, that's pretty remarkable because this is a hollow guitar. It weighs like 5.6 pounds. And the other guitar, the reissue, is not hollow at all. It's like, I don't know, 7 point something, close to 8. It's not a light guitar. And so for them to go from that to this pick guard to fit this, really remarkable. I couldn't believe it. Okay, so let's get to that. I should have done a video. You know how it is when you get down in the trenches and you're in the middle of it. It was noisy, like point it towards the amp and it was noisy, and then you're going to say, well, you didn't ground it, or the cavities weren't, you didn't do this. I did everything. I checked everything. I did the ground. I ground to the Bigsby. I could not make it stop, and it wasn't good. And then let's go to the next part. The blend knob never blended right. And by that, I mean, if you turned it forward, you would get the bridge pickup. And if you turned it in the middle, it was never really in the middle. There was no cancellation of any kind. That's for dang sure. So what I realized is the way the blend pot worked is it wasn't graduated to the point where you could go right in the middle of the two pickups. You're either mostly on the front or mostly on the back. And when you got to the back, it was like a fuzz. And I would like to have them both on and sound, not dirt-tastic. I don't know. I never liked it. And then when I realized that I couldn't get a true middle pickup or a middle selector, I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? That's when it dawned on me that I had pots and all the stuff I needed, and it felt like sacrilege. So yesterday, I pulled everything apart again. So that would be one or two or three times I pulled the electronics off the 60. And I was going to, oh, I didn't show you this. I took measure, or I just made a template out of this, put it on tracing paper, and I ordered this mother of toilet seat. I'm talking about this on some other video, and I got a magazine from Italy reached out to me to do an article on mother of toilet seat. And I was like, what is there to say? It's just plastic. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I ordered this 3-ply mother of toilet seat, traced it. I've never made a pick guard before. I guess I've never had to. I make them out of leather, and that's different because you can cut it with a razor blade. But I cut this out on a jigsaw, and then the real trick was my belt sander to really get the edges nice and smooth and curvy and get them just right. And it worked a charm. It was awesome. So this is exactly that. And I thought about putting this on here, and then I opted out to go back to what would look the most stock. And then I simply have a 3-way switch. Oh, there's one more thing to be aware of here that no one talks about in any of these videos. Everyone that talks about these is like, it's got a blend knob. It's revolutionary. Well, there's a reason that they did this in 1960 and never really did it again. The blend knob sort of sucks. And this isn't blend knob's fault, but this huge chicken head, well, what kind of head would this be? This would be a stork head. I don't know, a toucan head, not a chicken head. It's right here, right? And every time I was playing, like, let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to play a little bit on this thing. I would be like, it's changed tone. What's happened? Well, I would knock this thing, the selector switch, knock it into the wrong place. I'd think, no, everything sounds terrible all of a sudden. And I'd knock it in the middle, and then it'd be on the blender, and then the blender would be doing something weird. And I was like, this thing has got to go. So put a 3-way. I put in modern wiring, and just 500 pots seem to be good. Although, please take your time and go check it out. Nothing expensive, nothing crazy. I ordered my wiring. I know this is blasphemy. I have CTS and all those things. I've paid $58 for oil caps, but I just ordered a $18 wiring set off Amazon. Bing, 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 bing. This is tricky to get on, but I got it on. It sounds great, and there'll be a video on that after this where we'll play it, and we'll also play the other guitar. That's what we'll do. This 3-way switch goes to nothing. I really want to do something here. Now I know that GFS has boards and stuff. They probably would be sacrilegious on such a cool guitar, but if I think I can make one of them work with 2 volumes and 2 tones, I might put something interesting on here. I also tried the black ice. I pulled that off. I just wanted it to sound good, like really good. And now it really does. So here's the other thing. Well, I should probably put a link to these guys. See these knobs? These are almost, if not exactly like the stock knobs. And these fit on normal pots as opposed to Silvertone pots, which are small and skinny. And these were cheap. They're made out of metal, and they're really, really nice. I mean, come on. I just don't understand how they're so cheap and so nice. And they've got to be made to copy those knobs that were on this thing. They're 65 bucks a pair for originals that won't fit anything else other than those original pots, which are gone. So those knobs are living there. The chicken head, the original chicken head's living there. And so that brings us to where we are now. The end of the electronic story is this thing is a sumo wrestling. Sumo's not a good word. This is a ninja, man. It weighs like 5.6 pounds. It's got a Bigsby. It sounds great. I love the neck. The silhouette back here, which is my other Silvertone from the same year span, it's a little chunkier, a little baseball batty, which I really like and never thought I would, but I really like that neck. This neck is more like a thin C almost. Very comfortable. I love it. I love the inlays. It's perfectly not relic. You know what I mean? It's old, but the ivory's darkened, and the neck is worn out where somebody's played it. Everything I'd hoped for. I got it at a half what most of these go for on the internet. That's why I jumped on it. I did not intend to get it. It just, the guy said he lowered his price, and he was a super nice guy. I got it through the oh no. Let's see if I have the thing up. I don't. Is it Sweetwater that has the new used section where you can buy guitars? Boy, I really feel bad that I it's got to be Sweetwater. That's kind of who I use now. But I got it through there, and the guy that sold it to me told me the history, where it came from, who collected it, why he's selling it, and he seemed happy that I got it. I was selling him all the stuff I was doing. I'm going to throw this in. I may do a separate video on this. I don't even know if it'll do it right now. I was showing my daughter. I was playing it for her, and she said, "You've got to fix that buzz." Let's see if we can get it to buzz. Well, maybe it stopped. The buzz is almost stopped. So initially when I put it back together, it had a, if you hit the G string, it's still there a little bit. Can you hear it? It was much louder. So it had a some kind of sympathetic buzz on the guitar when you hit the G string. So I'm playing it electric. And when I said, "What do you think?" She said, "I think you should get rid of that buzz." And I said, "Check this out." So when you get a buzz on a guitar, and I've had a buzz on some old guitars, and I mean, it sounds like it's coming from the bridge, right? So I swore it was the bridge making the buzz on this guitar. This is complete sidebar. This is a pro tip. So I have almost given up trying to find a buzz before, and I realized maybe it's not the bridge. So then I thought, what else could it be? So then I start tightening screws, which it can be. It wasn't that. I'm putting, so then I'm playing it, and I'm putting my finger on pieces to see if I can stop it. And guess what was causing the buzz? I haven't fixed it yet because I want to do a video on it, but now it kind of went away. But I don't know if you can hear it. It's this truss rod cover. It's a loose screw on the truss rod cover was making the guitar buzz, and it sounded like it was coming from here. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, if you got a buzz, just pick and touch things, and then you might find it. The other thing it often is screws on your tuners can be loose and make a sympathetic rattle, I guess you might call it. And but it'll sound like it's coming from the neck, but it's really coming from those screws. I've had that happen to me. So that's just an extra tip. Now we're going to move into the final part of this. Hey, what's going on with the Jupiters? We're going to move back to 2013 here. So I was thinking about this guy. I don't even know if I'll play this. I will say this, although it's a little heavy, what a great guitar. Plus, I love a cheap guitar because you don't have to care about it. You can take it, you can play it in the sun, and it's a new guitar. It's not going to act funny on you. It's going to be pretty solid. But wiring, I was about to rewire it, just put wiring on it and put my new pick guard on it, and just put it back together so that it wasn't in pieces with screws on my couch back here. So I just took all the rings out of this, and this is what made me think to do the video. I got it on the internet, and I knew that Amazon, oh my gosh, I'll put a link below. I'm not sure who makes this. It might be Geiger. Is that what it's called? The guys who make the really cool roller bridges. But I saw this earlier in the week, and I was like, hey, hold on. The thing about this pre-wired rig is that these are the same capacitors that it had on it before on the 2013, and it's got push-pull pots that are wired for 4-wire humbuckers. And so these are indeed 4 wires. The other wiring wasn't taking advantage of that at all. It just had them taped off. And I thought, okay, I would feel pretty cool about rewiring this, pulling the blend knob, which I didn't like, putting a 3-way on there, which solves the problem of getting that middle position. And you don't need hum canceling on these. These things are dead quiet because they're humbuckers. But it's given me all that. Plus, and what I'm stuttering because every time I coil split, I almost never use it ever again. I'll play the guitar and go, oh, click, click, and that's kind of it. But you always have to do the most you can do with what you got. So it's going to be coil split. I'm going to use that cheap set. I'm going to put a link to both. You're going to be blown away. You're going to be like, why are you using this cheap stuff on these guitars? It just seems to work. And the Silvertone, the 60 Silvertone, that was the cheap guitar of its day, using cheap. Well, nowadays it's not cheap if you look at a handmade guitar in the USA, but back then it was considered, El Cheapo. So it seems to sound better. Oh, and I'll end on this. On my Silhouette 1960 whatever Silvertone, I put CTS pots and caps, and I was like, it doesn't sound right. And I pulled it all out and put an El Cheapo set back on that I originally put it on to begin with. And then it sounded sweet and juicy and fat. And I was like, okay, if you like the cheap stuff and sound better that way, I'm fine with putting it on. So that was kind of my reasoning for putting it on the 60. And then this was not cheap. This was like $45, which in the world of wiring, well, maybe it was 30 something, $37. But in the world of wiring, that is cheap. But if you look, the wire and all that stuff, that's well done. That's nice. That's not going to fall apart when you like pick it up, like some of the stuff that you see out there. So links to wiring down below. Links to the knob will be down below. And that's it. I'm sure I'm only talking to 3 people in America who care about Silhouette guitars and reissues. But I will say, if you're looking for something different, I would look at this 2013. It's pretty hot, and it's got everything. There's nothing you really need to do to it. But luckily, I don't have their name in front of me. I bought a B3 for this, and the people that sold it to me, like Good Bridges or something like that on, I don't want to call them out. Anyway, they sold me a B6. They called it a B3. It took them 20 days to get my money back. Not cool. Otherwise, there'd already be a Bigsby on here. But if you put a B3 Bigsby on this thing, it'd be pretty hot. It'd be a little bit heavier too, but it'd be pretty hot because this is a hot guitar. It would look good on someone. Okay, that's it. I just am about to button everything up, and I wanted to show everybody what was happening, just in case you too have a Silhouette problem. And you need to know everything you can know. I'm Billy Hale, BillyHale.com. I'm trying to put more stuff out, and I should stop talking now. It's Friday night. We're going to go play bluegrass tonight. It's a birthday party for one of my picking buddies, and so he wanted to have it at this place, and we're going to play bluegrass, and I'll show you what I'm going to bring, because what? I don't know if this guy's been on the channel. Oh, it might be my favorite guitar in the whole room. Don't leave. I should have said it at the front. Okay, I'm hooked up on something here. Hold on. We're having troubles. We can't be bumping this guitar. I'm taking this tonight. What is it? Oh, lordy, lordy. That is a 1946 LG2 Gibson. And it is a walker and a talker. It plays as good as it sounds. I don't usually play like this. do a whole video on this guy. You know, when you think you want something, and then you think you know what it's going to be like, and then then when you get it, then you're like, oh no, this is exactly what I wanted, and it is exactly what I thought it would be. Sometimes I think that I'm plugged into an acoustic amp, and I'll think, man, this thing sounds so good. Then I'll realize that the volume hasn't been turned yet on the acoustic amp, and I'm just hearing the natural sound. I can't play this way. There's a guitar in my lap. Anyway, check it. I don't know. It's just so cool. This is a one owner guitar. He bought it in 46. He played it until he died when it's 71. It sat in a case since then. And then it was totally refurbed by a guy in town. If you need an old Gibson or Martin at a better price than you'll ever find at Carter or Groon, I got the guy. You could shoot me a DM, a PM, whatever, and I can tell you about it. Bridge redone, nuts, all the cracks, everything refurbed on the inside, neck reset. The frets were left alone, and it does buzz occasionally, but I think whoever played this, I'm really going on here, but I think whoever played this must have been a bluegrass picker. I think that's where all this wear came from, because like tonight, I'll be trying to get all the noise I can out of the box. And when I do, I will get down here. Bam, 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 bam. So we'll see how it does. And that's what I'm about to go do in about 1 hour. So that's it, y'all. You know, I just want to document this before I start buttoning it up. I was about to wire the whole thing, which I've already explained. I appreciate y'all watching. Please hit all the buttons. The more views there are, the more I feel like making more videos. So join me again the next time I'm here. I'm just talking now. Bye, everybody. I can't stop.